Okay, so wrinkled face in the sense कि face को you are suddenly making your face wrinkled कि उसको सिकुड़ ना. Okay, तो आपने वो कर लिया तो फिर what does it mean? It means that you are disappointed, you are not happy, you are irritated with something. Okay, so this is how we say that okay, skin also plays important part while we talk about your non-verbal communication technique. Okay. So, yeah, moving ahead, let us see what are the other a few more non-verbal techniques of communication because they are really very important. So, a few more technical terms which you should remember are here. Okay, I'm showing you. So, let's see. Okay, now see chronemics, this particular word where I'm putting the cursor. Chronemic. Okay, chronomics. So this particular word, please note down this word Chronemice. This word which is being shown here. So chronomics is very important when we talk about non-verbal technique. So chronomic, what is chronomic? So try to understand this word from the point of view of language. So see, chronomic is like CHRO. Okay, chronology. What is chronology? Chronology is like time span. Okay, chronology हम कहते हैं ना कि इसको chronological order में रखो. Okay, so chronology is time span. So from chronology we have chronomics. Okay, तो उसमें क्या होता है? What happens in chronomics? You really need to understand the time limit. Okay, as I already said, so time limit is a form of para language also because it influences your language. You're not supposed to speak for a very long time. For example, in schools, it used to happen, right? Some chief guest would come and the chief guest would just make us so bored with a lengthy speech. ठीक है, तो वो नहीं करना है बिकॉज वो एक गलत फॉर्म ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन है. आपको ज्यादा जरूरत से ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लेना है कम्युनिकेशन में. ओके, आपको बस उतनी ही बातें करनी है जितनी की जरूरत है. Right, so that's why we say that non-verbal communication should have the proper time duration chronomics. Okay, now see the environmental details. Environmental details means it is not very important in our real life, but it becomes important when we are in an official setting. For example, when we are in a classroom, what happens? The environmental setting depends a lot. How? In the environment, for example, in your surrounding, आपके वातावरण में जो है एक शांति का माहौल होना चाहिए. There should be peace and calm in your classroom. Okay, so that the communication is flowing in a proper manner. Okay, there is no interruption. Interruption means बीच में बैरियर्स जो होते हैं, कम्युनिकेशन बैरियर्स. ओके, इस जिसके बारे में हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे, we'll study about them, but there should not be interruptions. So that is why the entire environment surrounding depends a lot. For example, right now I'm attending this online lecture for you. Now what happens that in this entire room I have made sure that there are no distractions. There is no television going on, and my mobile phone is also switched off right now so that people don't disturb around, and I have closed the door also so that other members of the family they don't make noise, or they just don't come and call me around. Okay, तो इसीलिए environment जो है surrounding आपका वातावरण वो वैसा होना चाहिए कि आपका communication process flawless जाए. And this is also an example of non-verbal communication technique. Okay, now a few more things. Okay, see this one is spatial behavior. Spatial, Spatial. Spatial behavior is another very important aspect because what is spatial now? Spatial. Spatial. What is spatial? Who will tell me? Spatial. You can tell me through chats or you can simply unmute yourselves. What is spatial? Come on, Spatial, spatial. Khushi? What is spatial? Okay, so spatial is from space. Spatial, this word Spatial, spatial is derived from space, Space, space. Okay, means the distance, a particular place. Okay, so spatial communication. Now, this is also a part of non-verbal technique. Often, what happens that we don't know where to stand or where to sit in a particular place. A person who is holding a mic, for example, this phone is my mic. So often what happens, आपने ये देखा होगा कि बोलते बोलते जो ब्रीदिंग है, मतलब उनके सांसों की आवाज उसमें आने लगती है माइक्स में, ठीक है. सो दिस इज व्हाई वी से कि स्पेस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन योर माउथ, means between your own body and the body in which you are delivering your message, or the person to which you are delivering your message. आप अपने फ्रेंड के साथ बात कर रहे हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर टॉकिंग टू योर फ्रेंड एंड इफ यू आर स्टैंडिंग टू फार, okay, too far from him or her, or too close, then that is not a very comfortable position to have a communication. Okay, there should be a spatial balance. Again, I'm telling the spelling, Spatial. Okay, spatial balance, so that your voice modulation reaches that person. अगर आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल बहुत दूर होंगे तो क्या होगा, आपकी ऑडियंस या फिर आपका जो लिसनर है, जिन तक आप अपनी बात पहुंचाना चाहते हैं, उनके पास आपकी बात नहीं पहुंचेगी. ठीक है, पहुंचेगी भी तो फिर बहुत ही उनको डिफिकल्टी फील होगी. he or she will have a great hard time to understand कि क्या कह रहा है, इतनी दूर तो है. ठीक है, तो कहते हैं, वी ऑफन से, है ना, इतनी दूर से क्यों कर रहे हो, जिस तरह पास आओ, पास आकर बताओ कि क्या बात है ना. या फिर somebody is like standing very nearby you, तो वी ऑफन से जरा डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करो. ओके, एंड स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग दिस कोविड-19 एरा वी ऑफन यूज के हाँ दूरी बनाए रखें, है ना. तो this is how it happens. So space is very important when we are talking about non-verbal communication. क्योंकि इसमें क्या होता है, आप अपने वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन तो यूज कर रहे हैं, यू आर ऑलरेडी स्पीकिंग आउट पर्टिकुलर वर्ड्स फ्रॉम योर थ्रोट. ओके, बट the problem is with the non-verbal technique, you don't know how much space to maintain. Okay, you don't know whether you should stand 1 meter at a distance of 1 meter, 5 feet, or 1 feet. Okay, so this is again very important. Now, another important aspect is for having a non-verbal communication is your your kinesics. Kinesics are like the body movement, body languages, which I have already told you. Okay, haptics are important, yes, haptics, and then we can talk about oculesics. So oculesics are your eye movement and eye contact. Okay, and kinesics are your body movement or body language, postures and gestures. Okay, so let us talk about kinesics first, then we'll talk about oculesics. So in kinesics, what happens, you have to maintain a particular body posture, your body language or your gesture. So your body movement should be friendly. Okay, now this is very important because we all make presentations either in our classrooms or in offices. हम सब कहीं ना कहीं अपना presentation देते ही हैं, ठीक है. So now just look at my hands, okay. When we are giving a presentation, for example, you have some for example, you have to talk about something very important, okay, in your presentation. Then what happens? While you are presenting something, you should keep your hands open, okay? Means hands should not be folded, okay? So then what happens? For example, you should not keep your hand like this and speak. Okay, am I? Can you see my hands? You should not keep your hands folded. Okay, this is not a right posture to stand and talk. It shows your closed body, and you are not inviting the other person to have a communication with you or to talk. Okay, so you should, as far as possible, you should try to keep an open body language, a free body language, okay, not standing like this or like this. These are not the right signs of non-verbal communication techniques, okay. तो ये सब आपको नहीं करना है. कुछ लोग होते हैं कि हाँ, okay, we are standing like this and then talking because I am very smart, okay. So ये नहीं सही तरीका है कि आप किसी से communication करें. This is a wrong process of non-verbal communication. Similarly, when you are sitting on a table, for example, I have this table here. तो हमें table पर ऐसे like this, okay? Don't do this. This is not a right posture to sit on a table in a meeting or with your boss or even with your friends, okay? Don't sit like this, okay? And if you think that, okay, there is something very important being talked about, okay, आपके बॉस, आपके टीचर, आपका फ्रेंड बहुत ही कोई इंपॉर्टेंट बात कर रहा है, एंड यू वांट टू शो दैट यू आर पेइंग अटेंशन, देन what is what is enough, you can simply do like this. Just one hand can be there on your table, on the table, and that's it, okay. ये नहीं कि आप पूरी बॉडी को लेकर टेबल पे ऐसे हो रहे हैं. This is not the right way of having your non-verbal gesture, okay. Similarly, when you are giving a class presentation or presentation in your office or anywhere, and you are talking something very important, तो अभी आपने देखा होगा मेरे हाथ को, मैं बार बार ऐसे कर रही हूँ, right? I'm doing like this कि जब आप important कुछ कह रहे हो तो do like this. So yes, doing this, just see the shape of my hands, my fingers. ये area जो है ये point कर रहा है उस तरफ, आपके तरफ, right? Why I'm doing this? Because I am focused towards you people, towards all the participants there. तो इसलिए मैं इस हाथ के पांचों उंगली से, sorry, there is some network issue, so the video is getting disturbed. So anyways, you have already seen the position of the hands. तो ये है कि I'm using my right hand's fingers and my left hand's fingers, and I'm pointing all my 10 fingers towards my audience, okay, towards my listeners, in personal communication also. Why? I'm trying to show that whatever I'm speaking, this particular point, this particular word is very important for you, okay. And also, you as a person, you people who are attending this lecture, you are the participants and you are important for me, and I'm talking something very important for you people, and that is why I'm showing my hand, my fingers towards you, pointing my fingers towards you, okay. So like this, we can see several these types of hand gestures which are important non-verbal clues and techniques. Okay, so in the next lecture, we'll be talking more about non-verbal communication. And before that, yeah, one small another guidance about non-verbal communication is just have a look at what I wanted to tell you. Yeah, oculesics. Oculesics is, please note down the spelling, OCULESICS. I repeat, OCCULESICS, okay, oculesics. So oculesics are, this word oculesics is derived from what? From your eyes, eyesight, okay. And opticals. Opticals किसको कहते हैं? Who will answer ऑप्टिक्स क्या होता है? खुशी, who will say optics? Come on, you should speak up in the class. Optics. ऑप्टिकल शॉप्स नहीं देखा कभी? ऑप्टिक्स, ऑप्टिकल शॉप. Visually, Prince Chaudhary has answered. Okay. So Prince Chaudhary is there. Okay. Prince, you unmute yourself and you can simply speak out also. Okay. You are most welcome to speak and respond in the class. So, yeah, visual. So, optics is something that is visual in which you use your eyes. Okay. So, optics are again very important form of non-verbal communication, and from optics only we have oculics, in which we use our eyes as a non-verbal technique. What do we do? For example, you must have seen some people. For example, just a very simple thing. In the classroom, often what happens when we have students, and some students suddenly start looking out of the window. Okay, out of the window or out of the door, कि नीचे क्या हो रहा है, फील्ड में कौन लोग हैं खेलने वाले, ठीक है, हमें तो देखना है, we want to see them. Now what happens that, you know, as teacher, any teacher, or even if you're talking to your friend, or friend जो है, he or she is continuously looking out of the window, what is happening in the market, what is happening on the road, who is going around, you will feel angry. Okay, you will say, I'm talking to you and you're looking here and there, what nonsense is this, and you will have a fight with your friend. Okay, so here the optics, the visual impact becomes very important. There is no fault with your friend or with the students in the class. The only fault is that he or she is not using the eyes properly as a listener, okay, in the communication process. Because whenever you are communicating with someone, you are talking to somebody, you will want 100% attention from that person, 100% focus. And if that person is using his eyes, his or her eyes moving around here and there, peeping out of the window, out of the door, or not looking at you, looking here and there, तो क्या होता है? That is a form of bad communication, bad non-verbal clue. Clue is CLUE. Okay, bad non-verbal clue, bad non-verbal technique. Why? Because you need to have an eye contact, okay, a focus, visual focus, and oculics in order to maintain a proper balance between your body language, your verbal language, and the entire communication process. Otherwise, what will happen? The communication process will fail. Now you'll think, eye contact nahi hai to communication fail kaise ho sakta hai? Yes, it will fail. How will it fail? Because due to the lack of eye contact, the mind will get diverted here and there. Sometimes you'll see at the flowers and think, wow, what beautiful flowers. You'll see out of the window, wow, what a beautiful car on the road. Okay. Then what will happen? Your attention will be diverted. Why? Because of your eyes. Okay. Your eyes are roaming here and there, looking at this and that. This means that your mind is also, catching everything around you in a distracted manner. Means you're not focused at the communication, you're not listening properly to the teacher in the class, to your friend, or to anyone who is trying to have a communication with you, and you'll not understand the message. Okay, you're not able to respond to the message which is being delivered to you. So obviously there will be a communication barrier and a failure in the whole communication process. Okay, this is why eye contact, in fact, your both the eyes are very important in communication process, more than anything else. Okay, more than anything else. Because how, for example, you're reading a book, you skip certain words. Okay, you are reading, for example, this is my school. Now what happens, or this is my university, what happens? You have skipped mine. कि my माई को जो है आपने छोड़ दिया, मतलब you just skipped, your eyes have skipped the word. Will you understand that you're talking about, or you're reading about your own university? No, That can be any XYZ random university. Okay, so this is why the visuality, the oculics become very important in as a non-verbal communication mode. Okay, now I think we have almost discussed everything. Haptics, HAPTICS. This one where I am putting the cursor. Haptics, HAPTICS. Haptics are the body contact, physical contact, which we should not have during COVID-19 era, obviously. So, haptics, again, I'm telling the spelling. HAPTICS. Haptics are like handshake, shaking hands, okay, or hugging someone, right? So these are the examples of haptics, HAPTICS, where you use your hands, from hands, okay, HANDS, hands, and haptics, okay. So basically, haptics basically refer to your hands contacts, okay, the contacts which you make through your hands, like handshake or anything like that, or simply patting someone's back like this, shabash, bahut achhi baat hai, like our teachers often do, right? So but haptics now in the modern times, it has been increased, or it has been extended to various types of physical contacts, including hugging in the public, or even now during COVID-19 era, we have introduced a new kind of haptics, like touching the elbow, because we cannot shake hands. Okay, so haptics are various, body contacts, which physical contacts which we make for showing various emotions and feelings. Okay, for example, when we are we are happy with our friend, we simply shake hands or we give a high five. Okay, so giving a high five like this is also an example of non-verbal communication, that is haptics. HAPTICS. Please note down this word also, and we will try to deliver the entire image which I just showed you to your group as well. Okay, because this the entire non-verbal diagram is very important for your tests, for your examination also. Okay, so these are some of the non-verbal clues which we talk about. And yeah, as I said, apart from verbal communication, the non-verbal communication becomes highly important. Okay, because several studies, not just one study, several types of studies have shown that non-verbal communication forms the majority of communication types. In a lifetime, a person has more than 50% of the non-verbal communication, और बाकी की जो 45% है उसमें आपको वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन आ जाता है और रिटन कम्युनिकेशन भी उसी में है. ठीक है, so you can see how important non-verbal communication is, and this is why I spent this entire lecture on non-verbal communication techniques. In the next lecture we will be talking about communication barriers, okay, and how we can cope up with such barriers, and plus the seven very important points which we need to remember while having a communication, both verbal and non-verbal. Okay, then we'll talk about writing skills, writing composition and grammar, where we'll be talking how we should divide paragraphs while writing, how we can write grammatically correct, in a grammatically correct process, whether in English or Hindi or any other language you want to write. And with us, we have Mr. Gulshan Verma, who has joined with us, and he will be taking your lectures on writing skills at a very extensive level, okay, giving you assignments and all, so you should be ready with your writing practices as well. Okay, and then also moving ahead, we'll be having camera presentations with all of you, so that is also important part of communication and public speaking. Okay, so in the upcoming classes, we will extend our basics from the verbal and non-verbal communication to written communication, and then to to various types of journalistic writings, because whatever you write, no matter whether you write an essay or you write anything, all the types of writings are the parts and parcels of journalism only. Okay, so journalism, while talking about the journalistic skills, you will form an entire setup for your written skills as well. Okay, so that's it for this session as of now. In the next session, we'll be talking about grammar a little bit, and then the 7 techniques of communication. If you have any questions, any queries about this session, about the points which we have mentioned, about any topic, you can simply ask. And you can unmute yourselves and ask any question if you want. You can ask in any language you want if you're not comfortable with English, but with due course of time, we want that you should be comfortable with the English language also, because this is the sole purpose of being here, okay? So, yeah, Prince Chaudhary, any question? Khushi? If there are no questions, then we will call it a day. Call it a day is a phrase which means to stop something, to stop this lecture in this sense. So if you don't have any questions, we can simply call it a day after having your attendance. Who all are present? Okay, Prince Chaudhary. Tausif Khan is present. Khushi. Chapok is present. Come on, speak your attendance at least, okay? From the next time onwards, you have to keep your own attendance. Otherwise, I'll put a 0 in your attendance. Prince?
Yes, ma'am. Tausif Khan.
Tausif Khan is present. Okay. Yeah, I have marked your attendance for today. You are excused, but from the next class onwards, आपको अपना attendance खुद बताना है. Okay, you should speak your own names, right? Right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Gulshan. Okay, Mr. Gulshan has also joined us. He is your faculty for, journalistic writing skills, and he will be teaching you extensively about camera presentation, public speaking, written communication, and all. How you divide your paragraphs and write for newspapers, journals, and various things. So he has been throughout the lecture with us, and. Yeah, and I request him to share a few words with all of you, because I have ended my lecture as of now, and we meet tomorrow again. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, Sanya. It was a pleasure to listen to you. Like you have covered all the aspects, like from language to communication, verbal communication, and whatever you have told the students. Like these all things are very useful, and especially when you talk about non-verbal communication. In communication, what matter is your non-verbal gestures, postures, and other things which you used. Like sometimes when you talk to somebody and your gesture is not as good as required, your communication may be spoiled. And अगर इसको हिंदी में हम लोग समझें तो नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन में ये समझ के चलिए 54% your body language. When talking body, this is 50% your way. ग्रामर, ये सारी चीजें इंक्लूड होती हैं. तो यू कैन नाउ अंडरस्टैंड कि कितना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है ये सेगमेंट, विच इज वी कॉल नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन. एंड उसका जितनी भी चीजें डिस्कस की गई, फॉर एग्जांपल आई कॉन्टैक्ट, अगर आप किसी से बात कर रहे हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल एक एनवायरनमेंट जो होता है हेल्दी कम्युनिकेशन के लिए, विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आपको एनवायरनमेंट अच्छा नहीं मिल रहा, या अगर किसी से आप बात करना चाह रहे हैं, इट्स नॉट कंफर्टेबल, ही इज नॉट और शी इज नॉट कंफर्टेबल, देन कम्युनिकेशन बेटर नहीं हो पाएगा. तो एनवायरनमेंट बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करता है. नॉइजी एनवायरनमेंट होगा तो भी अच्छा कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हो पाएगा. और इसके अलावा अगर इको फ्रेंडली कम्युनिकेशन हमें इन्वायरमेंट नहीं मिलता है, तब भी हम लोग, सपोज कीजिए आप एक धार्मिक जगह पर जाते हैं और वहां आप फिल्मों की बातें करेंगे, तो आई थिंक वो कम्युनिकेशन गैप रहेगा वहां पर, क्योंकि बाकी लोग उसी इन्वायरमेंट में बात कर रहे होंगे। सेम एज अगर आप एक फिल्म हॉल में जाते हैं या फिर उसके बाहर खड़े होते हैं और वहां आप धार्मिक बातें करेंगे, तो वो नहीं चलेगा। तो एनवायरमेंट के हिसाब से कम्युनिकेशन बहुत मैटर करता है। सेम एज क्लासरूम में हम स्टडीज की बात करते हैं तो अच्छा लगता है, और अगर हम अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ हमेशा से स्टडीज की बात करेंगे तो दे विल लॉस इंटरेस्ट इन यू, दे विल से यार ये तो हमेशा यही बातें करता है। तो पर्टिकुलरली जहां पर जिस चीज की जरूरत है वहां हमें उसका ध्यान रखना होगा। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट ये है कि जो नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशंस हैं उस पे आपको सिखाया भी जाता है, आप नोइंगली अननोइंगली नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन यूज करते भी हैं, बट समटाइम यू नो, समटाइम यू डोंट नो। कुछ बुरी आदतें हैं कम्युनिकेशन के दौरान जो हम लोग कर जाते हैं। सपोज कुछ लोग कई बार देखा होगा बात करते करते ऐसे ऐसे करते रहते हैं, लाइक कुछ भी करते रहते हैं। दोज आर बैड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स इन नॉन वर्बल फॉर्म। वर्बल फॉर्म में हमारी कमियां हमें नजर आ सकती हैं भाई, बड़ी आसानी से हम देख सकते हैं कि वर्ड्स ठीक नहीं है, ग्रामेटिकली गलत है, लेकिन नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन कोई आपको पॉइंट आउट नहीं करेगा, बट स्टिल दैट विल इफेक्ट, बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्ट करेगी आपको। और कहीं ना कहीं वो आपकी पर्सनैलिटी को वहां पर लॉस करेगी, और जब आप किसी से बात करेंगे या कम्युनिकेट करेंगे तो वो चीज आपके व्यक्तित्व में झलकेगी कि यहाँ पर कमी है। और फिर अगर हम और चीजों पे चलें तो कुछ पॉइंट्स और सानिया ने बहुत अच्छे ऐड किए जैसे कि अगर आप लैंग्वेज की बात करते हैं तो पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज में पैरा लैंग्वेज है, उस पर आपको कैसे फोकस करना है ये ध्यान रखना है। फॉर टुडे आई थिंक एक अच्छा खासा सेशन हुआ है जिसमें एक लेक्चर सानिया ने दिया जो कि मेरे हिसाब से उसमें काफी चीजें आपको सीखने को मिली होंगी। आप लोगों के पास एक छोटा सा होमवर्क रहेगा। आप लोगों को 5 एग्जाम्पल्स लिखने हैं नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन के। राइट डाउन 5 एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन, जो भी हो, जो भी आपको लगता है कि जैसे भाई आई से हाय सेइंग नथिंग, बट उस हाथ हिला के मैंने हाई किया तो इट वाज अ नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन, ये एक एग्जाम्पल है। यू ट्राई टू मेक मोर देन 5, बट एटलीस्ट आपको 5 ऐसे एग्जाम्पल लिख के लाने हैं या हमें भेजने हैं जो कि नॉन वर्बल के एग्जाम्पल हो कि भाई ये जो है दैट इज नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन। और इसके अलावा आपको ये भी कोशिश करनी है कि हमें बताएं कि नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन में एक ऐसा कौन सा जेस्चर हो सकता है दैट कैन डिस्ट्रॉय योर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स। कोई भी ऐसा जेस्चर जो कि बैड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स में आता हो, एक या दो आप राइट डाउन कर सकते हैं। दूसरी चीज ये है, प्लस बाकी जो चीजें आपने आज यहाँ पर प्रैक्टिस की हैं इसमें से भी अगर आप चाहें तो दिस इज ऑप्शनल कि आपको क्या बेहतर लगा, व्हाट यू अंडरस्टैंड, आप अपने तरीके से क्या समझते हैं, व्हाट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट इन अ कम्युनिकेशन फॉर्म, इन अ बेटर कम्युनिकेशन, आई कॉन्टेक्ट और जेस्चर, योर स्पीकिंग स्किल्स, what you understand by communication, like अगर आपको लगता है कि एक पर्सन बहुत बेहतरीन वक्ता है, कम्युनिकेटर है, तो वो क्यों है, उसके अंदर आपको क्या क्वालिटीज नजर आती हैं, that you have to note down. So these are the 3 practices for the next session. Before the next session you have to write down these things, and you have to send us, first thing, 5 examples of non-verbal communication. Second is some examples of bad non-verbal communications. And third is what I just said, something which is, we can say, communication, uh, what I just include, uh, communi- uh, communication and what you understand by a good communicator. what are the reasons? क्या वो पॉइंट्स हैं जिससे आपको लगता है कि कोई बहुत बेहतरीन बोल पाता है, या आपको लगता है कि मुझे उसकी तरह बोलना है, तो उसके अंदर ये क्वालिटीज हैं जो मेरे अंदर भी होनी चाहिए? तो व्हाट यू एनालाइज कि उसके अंदर बोलने का स्टाइल बेटर है, या उसका जेस्चर बेटर है, या ग्रामेटिकली वो वर्ड्स पे ज्यादा करेक्ट है, एनीथिंग। तो ये 3 आपको प्रैक्टिसेस है जो करनी है नेक्स्ट सेशन से पहले। ओवर टू सान्या मैम।
Okay, Gulshan sir, thank you so much for your conclusions right here and for giving the assignments. And I think that we will be talking about some interview skills also in the upcoming sessions, because most of us, in fact, all of us have been facing interviews here and there. And there are the participants like Khushi is there, she is in the undergraduation level, and some are professionals here like Tosif. So I think that we will be talking about interview skills where non-verbal communication skills become very important. So later on,
Yes.
in the subsequent lectures we'll be talking about that also. क्योंकि इंटरव्यूज में तो सबको जाना ही होता है, प्रेजेंटेशन सब देते हैं, तो उसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे। तो आज के लिए इतना ही। गुलशन, यस सर।
Thank you so much for being part of this session, and thank you Sanya, thank you for all students,
Thank
and
you,
we'll
sir.
talk again.
Thank you for joining. Thanks to all the participants.